internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. I cannot believe the information I'm about to present to you right now. And the individuals that are tuning in and that are about to consume this information, congratulations. Congratulations for not being a knucklehead and understanding the value and purpose of XRP and what is being designed in the background. If this is the first video you're watching on my channel, this might come off very harsh. So please go ahead and watch the other videos, get educated, and come back to this video. But the information we're going to go over today for all the OG individuals in the community, this is going to stand out and is going to stand out significantly. A panel that was just dropped at the Bank for International Settlements 4 hours ago, 95 views. You got to listen to what the governor, Bank of Italy, says, Fabio Panetta. And then we're going to get into a short little clip by Umar Farouk, something that Brad Garlinghouse was saying for a very long time and something that I've actually dissected and tried explaining to you why it wouldn't work. Now they're all saying it. You know what? Let's set the tone. This is going to be Set the Tone video 1 out of 2. But Umar, this is something that we have been saying for a very long time. It's great to see you guys catching on.
But if you really think about, let's say JP Morgan and Bank of America both had the equivalent of, we had JPM coin and Bank of America had, Bank of America coin. I'm just making it up. To settle those two is actually a real complicated endeavor without having either a real-time ledger at the back, a wholesale CBDC at the back, or a 24/7 RTGS system.
Because remember what Brad said.
I said, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? Probably not. And so, well, is Citi going to use the JPM coin? Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. If you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually, I don't understand what problem that solves.
And then remember what Ryan Rugg said?
Well, it's great that we have this internal token, but our clients don't want a Citi token or another bank token. What they want is cross-bank, cross-border liquidity.
Wow. Okay. This is only gonna get better, because after you're done listening to what Fabio Panetta says, you're gonna want to just go to Italy and you want to give him a nice smooch on his cheek, because he told us what's happening behind the scenes. But before I get into that, thank you for everybody for the kind words for the Whale Watch report that was published. Some of the coins with the targets were already hit, which is mind-boggling to me. Like, to be totally transparent, I was not expecting it. Link in the description down below. Remember I said there's going to be limited copies, and after today it is being taken down because I don't want people coming in and buying these memes at the top. This is strictly memes. We're headed towards a meme craze. I explain everything in detail in this report. Link in the description down below if you guys are interested. It will not be on the site after 24 hours. But listen to what Fabio Panetta has to say here.
Some jurisdictions may introduce a CBDC, while others may not. And for this reason, some are moving faster than others. And there is a risk of fragmentation, which would hamper cross-border payments. So in order to offer users a seamless payment experience, both domestically and internationally, we should ensure that CBDCs are interoperable with existing payment systems, but also with other CBDCs. Cross-border CBDC is part of the work program of the Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure for 2024. Yoon just mentioned that I chair the committee. The committee is currently working to identify how central banks can effectively cooperate on cross-border CBDC functionalities.
He refers to the Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures.
Cross-border CBDC is part of the work program of the Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure.
That is very important. He talks about having the cross-border CBDC more efficient and more interoperable pretty much is what he's stating. And he's saying that the Committee on Payment Market Infrastructures are currently working on that.
A Ripple-designed CBDC can provide a means to bridge disparate currencies through XRP. Its inherent interoperability can allow for connection with other central bank ledgers for efficient cross-asset and cross-border transactions. This can be done with cross-issuance, using XRP as a bridge currency or via cross-ledger communication protocols.
Cross-border CBDC is part of the work program of the Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure.
This is big because this video is 4 hours ago. I mean, the panel took place a couple days ago, but we have Ripple a part of this. We have Swift a part of this. We have CLS a part of this. We have MasterCard a part of this. And these are your financial infrastructures, okay? Ripple is a financial infrastructure. It is a financial enterprise, the products it's offering to its business partners. And then we have individuals. Nubank, Ripple partner. Wells Fargo, Ripple partner. Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Ripple partner. The testings are happening, and it's been verbally and visually presented to you guys. And that is why Warren Buffett went all in on Nubank, right? And that's RippleNet. RippleNet is working with Nubank. What does Warren Buffett know? Is Nubank gonna, increase their revenue because they're gonna save in fees? Let's see how that turns out. But Warren Buffett going to Nubank, that should raise some flags. But now to the most important part of what Fabio said. Listen very, very carefully to this.
As I mentioned earlier, many central banks are now involved in CBDC projects, in wholesale CBDC projects. Let me give you an example from the Eurosystem perspective, as the Eurosystem is experimenting new solutions based on DLT, and how these experiments could interact with the target services. The target services are the infrastructure that we use for interbank transactions in the euro area. So how this could be used to interact with target services to settle the euro cash leg of transactions in central bank money. One option we are currently examining is to create a technological bridge between the central bank's cash settlement system and the external private DLT platform, that manage tokenized digital assets. This option focuses mainly on use cases such as delivery versus payment, secondary market transactions, and life cycle management of securities. But we are also exploring another option. That is an option based on the creation from scratch of a Eurosystem DLT.
One option we're examining is to create a technological bridge to an external private DLT platform. I wonder what they are experimenting, given him stating that the CPMI, they're working on this right now. And then he goes on to say later in the video that we are exploring one option to create a technological bridge to an external private DLT platform. Smash the like button. That is significant, but it gets even more dramatic. He talks about RTGS, TAS, and Target 2, or just Target. Ripple has been big in the EU for a very long time. I mean, take a look at this tweet back from 2014. TAS supports Ripple, the new real-time global settlement everybody's talking about. Things take time. Okay, you guys are probably wondering, it was, adopted back in 2014. Why is it where it's at today? Well, back then we didn't have regulatory clarity across the world. Remember, we're connecting every economy together, having a level playing field. An asset needs to go from a regulated endpoint to a regulated endpoint. these different jurisdictions it needs to go through. Like, these all need to be regulated, right? And this is on their website, Task Group. Ripple is coming to TAS. TAS is ready. And here we have from the Bank of England. They tested Ripple, as you guys are all familiar with. But listen very carefully to this because it stands out given what Fabian said. We successfully integrated the Ripple solution with 2 simulated RTGS systems hosted in the cloud and demonstrated that we could process a successful cross-border payment across 2 RTGS systems simultaneously. We also demonstrated that an attempted cross-border payment that failed validation on the receiving side would not be honored, which is good. Failed transactions would not be honored on the other end. And then, listen to this part. The availability of liquidity is one such challenge, and the proof of concept allowed the bank and Ripple to begin exploring these questions. The bank is considering further proof of concepts to extend its understanding of the dimensions of the synchronization concept. And this goes back to years, and they have been working on this for years because it takes time building it. And you see how they say that liquidity is the most challenging part? And remember how we always talk about having deep liquidity and market depth, because that is going to be very, very important. And then just going back to last year, roadmap for the real-time gross settlement service beyond 2024. And they referenced, again, Ripple, a joint project with Ripple demonstrating synchronized FX transactions in 2 different simulated RTGS systems can be achieved. Like, we are coming to the end, and there's going to be many players in this. But just know that we are the pioneers in this whole ecosystem. And Brad Garlinghouse said it perfectly a couple of years ago.
The thing that's very different, and I've been out in Silicon Valley for about 20 years. The thing that's very different about what's happening now versus the dot-com bubble is the dot-com bubble, it was the institutional investors who were in, and then retail came on top and priced things up. The exact opposite has happened here. You have retail and kind of speculative interest already in the market, and now you have institutional money starting to come in.
And shout out to XRP Drops for that vid. But I remember when he came out and said that, and I'm like, wow. You know, the banks were coming in, but they halted it. They still wanted to spread fear, and they did that. They achieved spreading fear into the markets, and look where we are today. And this time next year, oh boy, I can't even tell you how crazy it's going to get. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. We'll be back with another video.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.